Hi, welcome to 30 Days of Transformation. Today is day 26. I'm sorry that I missed yesterday. I was teaching, actually, a wonderful group. I have a wonderful group here in Asheville of there's about 15 of us, and just a really thoughtful and caring and like incredibly talented group of people that are going through our 200-hour teacher training. So yesterday, one of them said to me, I don't know what to tell people when they ask me what I'm doing in Asheville on these weekends, because, if I say I'm doing a yoga teacher training program, they just say, oh, that's good, you're going to get toned up. And she's like, but that's not exactly what we're doing here, is it? We're talking about philosophy, and we're talking about ethics and meditation and our sense of identity and self-care, and using yoga in ways that's so much more expansive than just toning up. And so I thought, wow, what a great testimonial. Because that is what our program is about. I mean, it's about exploring human potential, exploring your personal potential, not just about learning how to stretch your hamstrings. So it was really inspiring weekend, and I just would love to encourage you to look more into our 200-hour program. Even if you're already a yoga teacher, it's really different than a lot of yoga teacher trainings. So today I thought, well, look, we're like kind of rounding the bend towards the end of the challenge, and I thought I'd really like to check in with you. And how is your self-care going? How is some of that routine going that we talked about, like doing one nice thing for your body, your mind, and your spirit every day? Is it working for you? Are things starting to shift for you? Are you able to make that commitment to yourself? That's an important thing to check in about, because as you go through the process, you need support. That's the whole point. That's the reason I'm doing these videos, is so every day you can have a little sense of like, oh, okay, there's my connection and my support, because it's connection and support that really help us to make the changes that we need to make, right? And the other thing we were talking about yesterday, I was talking about with my group yesterday, is the idea that sometimes self-care is not valued in our culture. And I remember when I was quite young, and I had started to meditate, and I hadn't been living at home for years and years, but I went and lived with my parents for a few months, because I was in my 20s, and I went and lived with my parents for a few months because I had just come back from Asia and I kind of didn't know what to do with myself. So at that time when I was staying with my parents, I was meditating, and, my mother is like a wonderful, generous, kind, amazing person, but she had a really difficult time understanding how I could sit and meditate, because she felt like it was selfish. She said, I think it's really selfish to sit there by yourself. And I was like, wow, that's such a fascinating, interesting concept, and something that I had not entirely managed to not internalize. There is that sense of like, oh, I'm taking care of myself, and that is not necessarily okay, either for me or my family or my culture, to take care of myself, right? And I think I will say that particularly women have this challenge. I do think it's some men, of course, but I think for women, it's very cultural. We have been indoctrinated to think that our time is best spent in the service of others. And yes, there's nothing wrong with that. It is great to spend time. Well, there's a lot of things wrong with it, but it is great to spend time in the service of others. But we can't serve others unless we go back to the well and slake our own thirst for self-care and for filling ourselves up with spirit, so that we have something to share with others. If we don't do that, what do we have to share, right? So we have to go back and take care of ourselves in order to be able to serve. And we have to start to dismantle this cultural imprisonment that says that women are caregivers primarily. I mean, we're all caregivers. It's not just a gender thing. We all have to take care of others. And in order to do that efficiently, it's the airplane mask thing, put your mask on first. We have to take care of ourselves. And so we have to prioritize it, and we have to fight against the internalized urges that tell us, that tell us that no, you have to help somebody else, and it's selfish for you to sit there and meditate, or it's selfish to do pranayama, or it's selfish to exercise and do asanas because you're not doing something for other people. And that, I think, is a strong cultural message we need to fight against, And let's be clear, we have internalized stuff, which makes it, which leads to that scientific definition that 80 to 95% of our thoughts, our feelings, and our behaviors tend to be subconscious. They are below the level of consciousness. So we wake up in the morning and we're like, my God, I'm so exhausted and I have so much to do today. And I feel so burdened, but that's just my life. I just have to plod along and carry the cross and do my life. No, it doesn't have to be like that. We can make changes. We can ask for support. We can connect with community. We can take time for ourselves. We can train our children and our spouses and our pets to know that we have time for ourselves, where we close the door, and that's mommy's time or my time or whatever. It's not, that's our time. And self-care, as I said many times, is not just Netflix and wine, or coffee and chocolate. It has to, although those things are all fine, but it has to include, in moderation, it has to include proactive strategies, proactive activities that proactively help us train our nervous system to relax. So in my 3 bullet points today, I talked about sleep hygiene. Are you getting enough sleep? Are you prioritizing sleep? Are you making sure if other people are staying up later, you're closing the door and turning off the light, because your sleep is important. And if you need help with sleep, if you're menopausal and you're having sleep challenges, or perimenopausal and you're having sleep challenges, are you taking care of that? Because there's things you can do for it, including CBD oil, including a tiny little bit of progesterone, whatever it is that you're adding to your life that is going to support you getting enough sleep so that you're functional. Sleeping is so important. Sleep hygiene is so important. Your room has to be dark. Blue blockers are great. I'm looking up here because somewhere on my desk I have a pair of blue blockers, like wearing blue blockers at night, which are sunglasses, if you're watching anything or doing any screen time, really important. The next one I put in here is water drinking. I mean, that's simple behavior of making sure you're drinking good quality water. One of the things I'd like to suggest that I started doing a couple of years ago was because I use a really good quality reverse osmosis filter. It also sucks all of the minerals out of the water. So I have a trace mineral supplement that I put in my water, and it makes my water really delicious, and it makes me want to drink more of it. So what do you do to, good quality water, making sure you're using some kind of doing something to your water to make it healthier. And then lots of it, right? And then the last one is exercise. So cardiovascular exercise plus slow yoga, which trains the nervous system towards resiliency, equals better overall health. I separate those two things. I do my exercise and I do my slow resiliency building nervous system training practices, and those are different things. And when you use both of those, that's what really results in a better state of health. The other bullet point I put here, of course, is clean food, eating clean food, prioritizing that stuff. You can prioritize it in your life. Please leave a comment today. Let me know what's working for you in this 30-day system, what's not. Let me know what you want more of, because I got 5 days left. I said I would do a 30-day pranayama challenge after this, which will be like 5 minutes every day. You can breathe with me and change your life with some pranayama. But if you want other stuff, let me know. Okay, because I will add it to my live streams, and I'm going to keep trying to do them. So it's great to be here, and I'll see you tomorrow.